vidyam adishya naradaha yayav angirasha sakam dhama swayambhuvam prabho. Okay, then Mishri Mataji, please go ahead. Mataji, you want to recite? Okay, Chitra Mohini Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Shuka Uvacha Bhaktayetam Prapannaya Vidyamadishya Naradaha Yayavangirasa Sakam Dhama Swayambhuvam Prabho. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Sri Prakash Rao Prabhuji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Bhakti Pranamalu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Sukha Uvacha Yayayetam Prapannaya Vidyamadisya sa Naradaha Yaya Agrirasa Agrirasa Sakam Dhama Swayam Bhuvam Prabho.
Thank you. Krishna Revti Ratnangi Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, pranams Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shri Sukha Uvacha Bhaktayetam Prabannaya Vidyam Adisya Naradaha Yaya Angirasa Sagam Tamam Sayambhuvam Prabhu. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Shri Shuka Uvacha, Shri Sukdev Goswami said, Bhaktaya unto the devotees, Etam this Prapannaya unto one who is fully surrendered, Vidyam transcendental knowledge, Adishya instructing, Naradaha the great sage Narad, Yayau left, Angirasa the great sage Angira, Sakam with Dham for the topmost planet, Swayambhuvam belonging to Lord Brahma, Prabho O King. Translation by Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Sukdev Goswami continued. Narad, having become the spiritual master of Chitraketu, instructed him fully in this prayer, because Chitraketu was fully surrendered. O King Parikshit, Narad then left with great sage Angira for the topmost planet, known as Brahmalok. Purport by Shri Prabhupada ki jai. When Angira had first come to visit King Chitraketu, he did not bring Narad with him. However, after the death of Chitraketu's son, Angira brought Narad to instruct King Chitraketu about Bhakti Yoga. The difference was that in the beginning, Chitraketu was not in a temperament of renunciation. But after the death of his son, when he was overwhelmed by his great plight, he was awakened to the platform of renunciation by the instructions regarding the falsity of this material world and material possessions. It is only at this stage that Bhakti Yoga can be instructed. As long as one is attached to material enjoyment, Bhakti Yoga cannot be understood. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 44. Bhogeshwarya prasaktanam taya frita chetasam vivasatmika buddhi samadhau na vidhiyate. In the minds of those who are too attached to sense enjoyment and material opulence and who are bewildered by such things, the resolute determination of devotional service to Supreme Lord does not take place. As long as one is very much attached to material enjoyment, one cannot concentrate his mind on the subject matter of devotional service. The Krishna consciousness movement is progressing successfully in the Western countries at the present moment, because the youth in the West have reached the stage of vairagya or renunciation. They are practically disgusted with material pleasure from material sources, and this has resulted in a population of hippies throughout the Western countries. Now, if these young people are instructed about Bhakti Yoga, Krishna consciousness, the instructions will certainly be effective. As soon as Chitraketu understood the philosophy of Vairagya Vidya, the knowledge of renunciation, he could understand the process of Bhakti Yoga. In this regard, Srila Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya has said, Vairagya Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga. Vairagya Vidya and Bhakti Yoga are parallel lines. One is essential for understanding the other. It is also said, Bhakti Parishanu Bhavo Viraktir Anyatra Cha. Bhagavatam 11 Canto, 2nd chapter, verse 42. Advancement in devotional service or Krishna consciousness is characterized by increasing renunciation of material enjoyment. Narad Muni is the father of devotional service, and therefore, just to bestow his causeless mercy upon King Chitraketu, Angira brought Narad Muni to instruct the king. These instructions were extremely effective. Anyone who follows in the footsteps of Narad Muni is certainly a pure devotee. Om Agyan Timirandasya Gyan Anjana Shalakaya Chakshir Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karna Sindhu Din Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namastite. Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishbhanuste Devi Pranamami Hari Priya. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसादि गौर भक्ति वृंदा हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नमामि विष्णु पदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी नामने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे O transcendental Lord, who are situated in the topmost planet of the spiritual world, your two lotus feet are always massaged by a multitude of the best devotees with their lotus bud hands. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, complete in six opulences. You are the Supreme Person mentioned in the Purusha Shukta prayers. You are the most perfect self-realized master of all mystic power. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Shri Sukdev Goswami continued, Narad, having become the spiritual master of Chitraketu, instructed him fully in this prayer because Chitraketu was fully surrendered. O King Parikshit, Narad then left with great sage Angira for the topmost planet known as Brahmalok. Okay, we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th canto called Prescribed Duties for the Mankind, chapter 16 called as
King Chitraketu meets the Supreme Lord.
King Chitraketu meets with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we are reading that these prayers or the mantras are the mantras which were given to Chitraketu by Narad Muni after he had shown the signs of renunciation after doing the last rites for his departed son. And in those prayers, yesterday we read that how Krishna, everything created, maintained, and annihilated in the Supreme Brahman. So everything is actually, Krishna is the basic principle. And we also studied that the iron has no potency to burn, but when iron comes in touch with the fire, it acquires the fiery qualities and it can burn. So similarly, the matter has no potency in itself. Like our gross body, subtle body, Prabhupada was giving example of brain. The brain is a dead matter. But if it gets infused with the spiritual energy, which is the energy of the soul, and the soul is getting energy from the Supreme Soul, then the brain becomes activated. So basically, the basic energy or the basic principle of existence is the super soul, because without super soul, nothing is there. So that's the Paramatma feature. And now, Krishna, last prayer, last mantra is when he's paying obeisances to the Bhagavan feature, where Krishna himself is established in the topmost planetary system, and his lotus feet have been massaged by the lotus hands of his devotees. And Prabhupada is mentioning that how the devotees are always willing to serve the Lord, but no one can actually do anything for Krishna because Krishna is complete in itself, in himself, but Krishna nevertheless accepts the attempt. So basically, the underlying thing is that we can never become a very great devotee. Because what is the meaning of greatness? In unlimited, in front of somebody who's unlimited. Right? In front of somebody who's unlimited, there is no question of being great. Because he's the only one who's great. And then towards this particular verse, Sukdev Goswami is telling Parikshit Maharaj that why Angira Rishi did not bring Narad Muni when he came to meet Chitraketu the first time. Right, Chitraketu, because he was not ready. Why? Because he still had the hope. There was a hope that I can be happy. in the material atmosphere. There was this hope, and when that hope was completely nullified or broken and became hopeless, and vairagya arose in the heart after the death of his son, then the heart became ready to receive these instructions. So this is a very deep topic in itself, because if you see that there are so many living entities in this planet, everywhere in the entire creation. And when Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, what does he say? Manushya nam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye yatati api siddhanam kaschit mam veti tatvataha. So there are like, out of so many millions, one may become perfect, and out of those who are perfect, one may hardly know me in truth. Right? So if we really analyze this and connect this verse with that verse, that why? Because in one sense, understanding Krishna is not so difficult. It's not difficult to understand that I'm not the body, I'm the soul. It's difficult to realize, but it is not difficult to understand logically, scientifically, practically. It is not difficult to understand, but the realization is another process. So, why? Because of the hope that I can be happy in this world. You see, this hope keeps the soul hanging by a thread in the material world. So, what does Prabhupada say? Anya Bhilashita Shunyam, unless and until all the other desires are Shunya, are, zeroed out, one cannot become a pure devotee. And if there is like a little bit of a desire left to gain something in this world, that desire itself will overpower our progress in Krishna consciousness. Okay, so Chitraketu, when he became ready, then the whole avenue of the spiritual atmosphere opened up for him. And then we'll study that what happens when he first starts reciting these mantras. We'll study with the forthcoming verses. Okay, so but the point to understand is that if I'm thinking that I'm not progressing in Krishna consciousness, my Guru Maharaj explains that there could be different reasons why somebody feels stuck, or maybe somebody feels that I've regressed in my bhakti. It could be offenses, yes, it could be offenses to other devotees, other people in general, other living entities, to oneself. There can be offenses, yes, but more than likely it is the attachment, right? One of the offense, what is the 10th offense of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra? What is the 10th offense?
Unattempted, being unattempted to chanting.
Yeah,
And
there's one part of it.
and material attachment, if you have, in spite of so much instructions.
Yeah, so to maintain material attachments in spite of, despite so many, understanding so many instructions on this matter, this is an offense to the holy name. Okay, so when we are chanting offensively and inattentively, then the Vairagya Vidya does not arise. Now, Vairagya Vidya does not really mean that we leave our responsibilities and run away, because so many of the devotees, the Mahajanas, are kings, right? Bali Maharaj, Yamaraj, so they're kings, they're grihastas. But Vairagya Vidya means that whatever role I'm performing is because is a service to Supreme Personality of Godhead. There's renunciation in service. Renunciation in service to Krishna, not renunciation uh, of the responsibilities. That's not what it means. Okay, so we can analyze and we can study that where the attachments are sitting. I wanted to say this in Shastakam Pray today, but I'll mention that one devotee mentions that there are material happiness comes in three forms. Okay, he analyzes. He says one form is that um, the environment is completely unpalatable. It's completely unpalatable. I want to be happy, but I cannot be because it is unpalatable. Okay. The second category he explains is that The environment is palatable but is of no interest to me. And the third category of happiness it explains is that the environment is palatable and is of interest to me, but it doesn't last long. So material happiness, he says, comes in these three waves. First is the environment is unpalatable. The example is that if somebody is very thirsty, is on the ocean, there is huge water body in front, but not even a drop can quench the thirst. Right? That's like the unpalatable environment. That there's so much of water, but I can't use it. And then the other one is that environment is palatable but is of no interest. For example, if somebody is in a restaurant and they have the whole menu in front of them, but they are not able to, nothing is of interest to them, whatever has been served. So it's actually palatable but is of no interest. Or the last one is that it is palatable and is of interest, but it doesn't last long. For example, if somebody has a favorite song, they play the song over and over and over again. Eventually, one gets tired. Like, eventually, one gets tired of the song. How many times, can you listen to the same song? How many times can you watch the same movie? How many times? So it becomes unpalatable eventually. So material happiness is something like this. And then we try to invent different ways and cover it up in different things to make it palatable. For example, if you fly by the airplane, there is a first class, there is a business class, and there's an economy class. Yes? Yes or no? Yeah, you heard. First class, business class, economy class. Yes? These are three classes
Yes, Mother. Yeah.
in most of the commercial flights.
Yes.
So somebody thinks that, okay, I am going to make my journey very comfortable by upgrading myself from economy to business, or even most comfortable by upgrading myself from business to first class. Right. So the hope is that there is some truth to it, but listen to what I have to say. The hope is that. And then there is nice service, and there is like you can like sleep in the plane, and you can, it's more comfortable. But the hope, but how much time can you spend your life in that class, or would you like to, touch the ground at some point? Huh? Or is it so
It's only a
palatable?
journey. It's only a journey.
Yeah, so it's comfortable. It's definitely a higher service, and definitely better experience. But whoever is sitting on those class, if you ask them, would you like to stay here continuously for forever, or would you like to stay? Would you like the plane to touch the ground? What would you say? What would
Everything
they
is
say?
only temporary. Everything, even a minute of joy is a temporary and comes to an end after some time. Change is only the important thing.
Yeah, well, thank you. But we stick to the example. So, we can, so even if it is the highest class service, we would still like to come down to the ground. Okay. So, comparing it to what we are studying here is that no matter how much material enjoyment one is exposed to, and there is no limit, there is no limit. One can go on doing, for example, interior decoration of their house is unlimited. Unlimited one can do. There is no limit. Okay, but it doesn't give joy after some time. It doesn't give joy after some time. Now, I understand that some of the devotees in this class, in this session, are have worked in their career and are retired. So I want to hear from your honest experience, if I may request you to share that when you first joined the job, and then after 20 years of being in the job, and then 30 years of being in the job, um, when was the time that you were most excited, and then what happened to that excitement as the years went by, if you can share. When was the time you were most excited about this journey to start? And then what happened as the years
When
went
it
by?
started, when joined the job, then that time we were very much excited.
Hmm.
Gradually, after 20 years, that excitement was not there. Parikshit
Okay.
Mataji.
Thank you for sharing. Anyone else? Is Surya Prakash or Prabhu not here?
If the job nature keeps changing and more responsibilities are given as the departments are changed, then it is a continuously interesting phenomenon as in certain cases. But if the same mundane thing, then you get used to it. But what is important in the same organization, you can be given get different roles, then it may be a little more exciting and challenging.
Okay, that might be your personal experience. Okay. Thank you for sharing. Okay.
Yes, Mataji, what is it? 'Cause I was away for 10 minutes, Mataji. Sorry. Somebody
Now I'm
called me in the
asking
morning.
when you first joined the job
Ah,
and what was the excitement? And then as the years went by and you were close to retirement, what was the excitement like of going to work and doing the same job? I'm asking the
uh,
experience.
honestly speaking, first time it was very exciting because first time we are tasting the salary. I was brought up and what never anything in the house only up to MSc level. So first time I was liberated from the joint family. That is one excitement. So as a job, I used to love very much, very cautious, very sincere at work, and trying to that what is that utsaha is there. I want to climb the ladder like that up to general manager level I came. So last minute frustration was there because business is being improved, but staff was not given. Although I was in a very high grade position, that frustration is. But never I lose my interest. That is my honest commitment.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay, in general, like the thing is that the excitement plateaus after some time. It becomes like one of those things that we have to do, or sometimes it wanes off. So, what I'm trying to say behind this discussion is that it is important to reflect every day that what is it that I'm deriving the most happiness from, and that's where my attention, even subconsciously, is going. Okay, the question to ask is, what is it that I'm deriving most happiness from? And that way, I know where my most attention is going, and where the attention is going is where consciousness is flowing. That's how it happens. So, and then we can revisit this verse and say that unless and until I have this Vairagya Vidya, this urge of renunciation in the heart, I cannot become ready for collecting these instructions of Bhakti Yoga. It is very difficult. It's not that because I am a bad person or something, it's because the two things don't overlap. Okay, the two things cannot overlap. Cannot be doing material sense enjoyment and cannot try to become a pure devotee at the same time. Only one thing can stand. And if somebody has a desire for material enjoyment, then it takes longer to become a pure devotee. It's not that they'll not become, but it takes longer. The effort and the duration is longer. I think I'll stop here. Any questions, reflections, realizations, corrections?